I'm sitting here in my condo in Makati, looking at my bank statements, and I can't help but laugh. Not a happy laugh, more like that sound you make when you realize you've been the punchline of a joke for 6 months straight. My name's Curtis. I'm 59 years old. And I just spent 427,000 pesos trying to feel like a big shot. Let me back up. The first time I walked into Club Infinity on Burgos Street, I told myself I was just going for one drink, one beer, maybe chat with some people, see what the nightlife was all about. I'd been in Manila for 3 weeks, staying in a serviced apartment in Makati, telling myself I was exploring opportunities in the Philippines. The truth? I'd left everything behind in Phoenix. 23-year marriage ended when my wife found out about the affair, lost the house in the divorce. My kids stopped talking to me. The company I'd worked at for 17 years let me go during restructuring. I was 59, alone, and desperate to feel like I mattered again. Club Infinity wasn't what I expected. I'd imagined something sleazy, maybe dangerous. Instead, it looked like any upscale bar in the States. Nice lighting, decent sound system, comfortable booth seating. 20, maybe 30 young women in cocktail dresses, all smiling, all available. Some were dancing near the small stage. Others were sitting with customers, laughing at jokes I couldn't hear from across the room. I ordered a San Miguel from the bartender and tried to look casual, like I belonged there, like I did this kind of thing all the time. "First time here, sir," the bartender grinned at me. He was a young guy, maybe mid-20s with slicked back hair. "That obvious?" I said. "Little bit, sir, don't worry. Just relax. The girls are friendly." I nursed that beer for 20 minutes, watching. A few women glanced my way, smiled, but didn't approach. I figured maybe I was too old, too ordinary. Then I saw her. She was standing near the bar, talking to another girl. She wore a tight red dress that stopped mid-thigh, and her hair was long and straight, almost down to her waist. But it wasn't her looks that caught me, it was the way she laughed, head thrown back, genuine. Not the practiced smile I'd seen on the other women. She looked like she was actually having fun. She caught me staring. Instead of looking away, she smiled and walked over. "Hi," she said. Her voice was soft, a little shy. "You alone?" "Yeah," I said. "Just checking things out. I'm Pearl." She extended her hand. Formal, almost, like we were at a business meeting. "Curtis." I shook her hand. Her grip was light, fingers delicate. "You want company, Curtis? I can sit with you. We can talk." I should have said no. Should have finished my beer and walked out. Instead, I heard myself say, "Sure, yeah, that'd be nice." She slid into the booth next to me, close enough that I could smell her perfume, something floral, sweet but not overwhelming. The bartender appeared instantly. "Ladies, drink for Pearl?" he asked me. I looked at her. She gave a little shrug, like she didn't care either way. "Sure," I said. "Whatever she wants." "I'll have calamansi juice," Pearl said. "Just juice, okay? I don't drink alcohol so much." That surprised me. I'd expected her to order something expensive, rack up the bill. The bartender nodded and left. "So, Curtis," Pearl said, turning to face me fully. "Where you from? America?" "Arizona. Phoenix. You know it? I hear about it. Very hot, right? Like here." She laughed. "You married?" The directness caught me off guard. "Divorced," I said. "Recently." "Oh." Her expression shifted genuine sympathy. "That's hard. You have children? 2, grown now. We're not really talking at the moment." She put her hand on my arm. Light touch, but it felt electric. "I'm sorry. Family is important. Must be very painful." And just like that, I was talking. About the divorce, about losing my job, about feeling like my life had fallen apart. She listened, really listened, asked questions, made sympathetic sounds. When her juice arrived, 250. The bartender told me later, ridiculous for juice. But I didn't care. She barely touched it. She was focused on me. "You know what I think?" she said, after I'd been talking for maybe 30 minutes. "I think you are very brave. To come here, start fresh. Many men just give up. But not you. I'd spent 6 months feeling like a failure. Hearing her say that this beautiful young woman who had no reason to care, it hit something in me. Something I didn't know was still raw. "What about you?" I asked. "How'd you end up working here?" Her smile faded a little. "Long story. Maybe I tell you another time." "No, I want to know. If you want to share." She looked down at her hands. "I'm from Samar. Small province. My family is poor. My father left when I was small. My mother is sick, she has diabetes, needs medicine. I have 3 younger brothers. Someone has to help them. And this is the best way?" I asked, gesturing at the bar. "Best way?" She laughed. But there was no joy in it. "No. This is the only way right now. I send money every week. They can eat, go to school, buy medicine. Is it perfect? No. But is it enough? Yes." The bartender appeared again. "Another round?" I looked at Pearl's still full glass. "She hasn't finished that one." "Is okay," Pearl said quickly. "I drink slow, but if you want to buy me another, I don't say no. This is my job." I appreciated the honesty. At least she wasn't pretending. "One more," I told the bartender. We talked for another hour. She told me about growing up in Samar, about the typhoons that destroyed their house twice, about her mother's diabetes and the cost of insulin. I told her about my failed marriage, about the affair I regretted, about my kids who wouldn't return my calls. At one point, a customer, Western guy, maybe 40, Australian accent, approached our booth. "Hey, Pearl, you working or what?" he said. She barely glanced at him. "I'm busy. Ask Candy or Sweetie." "Come on. I've been waiting." She said she's busy. I heard myself say. The Australian looked at me, sized me up, then shrugged and walked away. Pearl turned to me with wide eyes. "You don't have to do that. He's a regular customer. You said you were busy," I said. "I figured you meant it." "Thank you." When I finally checked my watch, it was past midnight. I'd bought Pearl 4 drinks, 1,000 total, and I'd had 3 beers myself. The bartender brought me the bill. What, 2,400? Not terrible, I thought. An expensive night out in the States would cost that much. "I should go," I said. "Okay." Pearl stood up. "It was nice meeting you, Curtis." "Really? Can I see you again? Outside of here, I mean." She hesitated. "You want my number? If that's okay." She took my phone and typed in her number. "Text me tomorrow. We can have coffee or something. Daytime, okay? I'm free in daytime." I walked out of Club Infinity feeling lighter than I had in months. I had her number. This beautiful, sweet woman who'd actually listened to me, who'd chosen to spend hours talking with me instead of hustling drinks. She'd even turned away another customer for me. I texted her that night. "Thanks for the great conversation. Coffee tomorrow?" She replied within minutes. "Yes, I'd love that." I fell asleep smiling like an idiot. We met at Starbucks in Greenbelt the next afternoon. Pearl looked different in daylight, younger, somehow. She wore jeans and a simple white t-shirt, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. Minimal makeup. She looked like she could be a college student. "Hi," she said, seeming nervous. "I wasn't sure you'd really come." "Why wouldn't I? Most guys from the bar. They don't want to meet outside. They just want bar fine." I didn't know what bar fine meant, but I nodded like I did. We ordered coffee and sat in one of the comfortable chairs. Without the bar atmosphere, our conversation felt different, more real. She told me about her family in detail. Her mother, Rosa, who'd raised 4 kids alone, her brothers, Jun, 17, Joey, 15, and Iman, 12. She showed me pictures on her phone. Her mother looked older than her years, tired. The boys were skinny but smiling. "They're why I do everything," Pearl said, looking at the photo. "Every peso I send, I think this is for June's tuition, this is for Joey's uniform, this is for Emon's books. Makes it easier, you know, the work." "Do you hate it?" I asked. "Working at the bar?" She was quiet for a moment. "Hate is strong word. Do I like it? No. Do I wish I could do something else? Every day. But right now, This is what I have. What would you do? If you could do anything. Her face lit up. I want to study, maybe nursing or business. I finished high school, but no money for college. If I could save enough, maybe I could study and work. Also, then I could have real career. You know, not just this. I felt something shift in me. Here was this smart, articulate young woman, trapped in a job she hated because she was supporting her entire family, and I had money sitting in my bank account doing nothing. Retirement savings I'd managed to keep in the divorce. Maybe this was my chance to actually help someone, to matter. We spent 4 hours at that Starbucks. When I finally looked at my watch, it was almost 7 p.m. I should let you go, I said. You probably have plans. I have to work tonight, she admitted. But this was nice. Really nice. We can do again? Definitely. Tomorrow? She bit her lip. I work tomorrow. But maybe day after? Or you could come to the bar again. We could talk there also. I didn't want to share her with the bar environment, but I heard myself agreeing. Okay, I'll come by tomorrow night. She leaned forward and kissed my cheek quick, light. See you tomorrow, Curtis. I went back to Club Infinity the next night, and the night after that, and the night after that. The pattern became routine. I'd arrive around 9 p.m., take my usual booth, and Pearl would sit with me. I'd buy her drinks, always juice. She insisted she didn't like alcohol, and we'd talk for hours. Sometimes other girls would try to join us, but Pearl would wave them away. He's my customer, she'd say, and they'd leave us alone. I learned the bar economics quickly. Every lady's drink I bought Pearl, she got a commission. 250 per drink, she got 100. The bar took the rest. On a good night, she might sell 20 drinks across multiple customers. On a slow night, maybe 5 or 6. And she had to hit a quota minimum 10 drinks per shift. Or the Mama-san, the bar manager, a woman named Mama Linda, would be angry. That's why most girls push drinks hard, Pearl explained one night. They need to make quota, but with you, I don't worry so much. You always buy enough. I was spending 3,000 to 5,000 per visit, 3 or 4 nights a week. In my head, I justified it. This was cheaper than drinking at expensive bars in the States. And I was helping Pearl make her quota. Win-win. After 2 weeks, Pearl brought it up during one of our daytime coffee meetings. Curtis, can I ask you something? Personal question. Sure. Why you come to the bar so much? Most customers, they come, they bar fine girls, they leave, but you just talk with me. Is that strange? Little bit, yes. She smiled. But nice kind of strange. Most men don't want to just talk. What's bar fine? I asked. You've mentioned it a few times. She looked surprised. You don't know? Really? Really? Okay. So, bar fine is when customer pays the bar to take girl out. Like, you pay 4,000 to Mama-san, then I can leave with you. We can go to dinner, or hotel, or whatever you want. The 4,000 is for the bar, for taking me away from work. Then usually, the man gives me also money, separate, for my time. Oh, I felt stupid for not knowing. And what would happen? She looked down. Depends on man. Some men just want company, dinner, movie, sleep together. Some men want girlfriend experience, like I'm really their girlfriend for the night. Some men just want sex. Fast, then leave. And you have to do whatever they want? I can say no, but then maybe I don't get bar fined again, and I need the money. So, usually, I don't say no. The thought of her with other men made my stomach hurt. How often do you get bar fined? Maybe 3, 4 times a week. Depends. And you? You sleep with these men? She met my eyes. Curtis, that's the job. Most of the time, yes. Is that shocking to you? It should have been. Instead, I felt protective, angry at the situation, at the men who treated her like a commodity. What if you didn't have to? I said. What if you could quit? Quit? She laughed. Then how I send money home? My family needs come 15,000 every month minimum. Where I get that money? What if I gave it to you? The words were out before I could stop them. Pearl stared at me. What? What if I gave you 15,000 a month? Then you wouldn't have to work at the bar. You could study or find a different job or… Curtis, no. She shook her head. That's too much. I can't accept that. Why not? I have the money. I'm not using it for anything important. And you could stop. Stop. Doing work you hate. But then, I'm taking money from you for nothing. At least at the bar. I'm working. You wouldn't be taking it for nothing. You'd be using it to build a better life. That's not nothing. She was quiet for a long time, staring at her coffee. Finally, can I think about it? Of course. 3 days later, she agreed. But only for 3 months, she said, to see if I can find different job or start study. If I can't, I go back to bar. Deal. Deal. I transferred 45,000 to her Gcash account that afternoon, 3 months up front. She cried when she saw it. No one has ever done something like this for me, she said. Never. That night, instead of going to Club Infinity, we went to dinner at Viking's Buffet in Pasay. She wore a dress I'd never seen before. Dark blue, elegant. She looked beautiful. This is my first time here, she said, eyes wide at the endless food stations. I always wanted to come, but too expensive. We spent 3 hours there. She tried everything, insisted I take pictures of her with various dishes. She was giggly, relaxed, young. I realized this was probably the first time in years she'd been out without having to perform, to hustle, to be on. After dinner, we walked along Roxas Boulevard. The bay breeze was warm, and the lights of the city reflected off the water. Curtis, she said, taking my hand. Thank you. Not just for money. For seeing me. As person, not just bar girl. I squeezed her hand. You're more than that, so much more. We kissed that night. My first kiss in over a year. It felt like starting over. Over the next few weeks, we fell into a routine. I'd see her almost every day, lunch dates, dinners, long walks around the city. She introduced me to places I'd never have found on my own. Small carinderias serving amazing food for 100, hidden parks, local markets. She was my guide to Manila, and I was her escape from the bar life. I still went to Club Infinity, occasionally not to see Pearl, but to maintain my presence, show the other guys I was a regular. I'd buy drinks for Pearl's friends, Candy and Sweetie, chat with Mama Linda. I wanted them to know I was serious about Pearl, that I wasn't just another customer. One night, Mama Linda pulled me aside. Curtis, can I talk to you? Sure. Pearl told me you're helping her, giving her money so she doesn't have to work so much. You're good, man. But be careful, okay? This business, it makes girls very good at making men feel special. But I'm saying, be careful. I should have listened. The first crack appeared 6 weeks into our arrangement. I'd called Pearl one evening around 8 p.m., expecting her to answer. She'd told me she was staying home that night, taking care of some paperwork for her family. The phone rang twice, then went to voicemail. I tried again 30 minutes later. Voicemail, again. Finally, around 11 p.m., she called back. Sorry, she said. She sounded breathless, music thumping in the background. I was with Candy. She had emergency, needed to borrow money. We were at mall, my phone died. At 11 p.m.? What mall is open this late? Oh. We went to get food after. At Ministop. Anyway, how are you? You need something? The explanation was plausible, but something in her voice felt off. Too bright, too rushed. No, just wanted to say goodnight, I said. Okay, sleep well. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes? Yes. Good night. I told myself I was being paranoid. She was allowed to have a life outside of me. She was allowed to help her friends. The second crack appeared 2 weeks later. We were supposed to meet for lunch at Jollibee in Makati. I arrived 10 minutes early and texted her. I'm here. 20 minutes passed. No response. After 40 minutes she replied, so sorry. Emergency with my brother. Can we meet later? Maybe dinner. Is everything okay? Do you need help? No, is fine. Just family stuff. I explain later. We met that night at a Korean restaurant. She was wearing heavy makeup, full face, the kind she'd worn when working at the bar. I'd gotten used to seeing her, natural, casual. This felt like a regression. Everything okay? I asked. Yes, fine. Joey got in fight at school. I had to talk to his teacher. All afternoon. Talking. So stressful. That must have been tough. Is Joey okay? Yes, fine now. She changed the subject quickly. How was your day? I tried to follow her lead, but my mind kept circling back. The makeup, the delayed response, the vague explanation. Over the next few weeks, the pattern repeated. Missed calls, delayed responses, vague explanations about family emergencies or errands with friends. She was still affectionate when we were together, still asked about my day, still kissed me goodbye, but something had shifted. One night, I went to Club Infinity without telling her. I needed to know if she'd returned to work. I took my usual booth and ordered a beer. Candy approached me immediately. Curtis, long time, where you been? Just busy. Is Pearl working tonight? Candy's expression flickered something quick I couldn't read. Pearl? No, she's not here. She quit. Remember? Because of you. She smiled. You're a good man, Curtis, taking care of her like that. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt suspicious. When's the last time you saw her? I asked. At the bar. Maybe. 5 weeks ago? 6? I don't know. We're not so close anymore. She has new life now, with you. But Pearl had mentioned seeing Candy just last week, had said they went to the mall together. I left the bar and sat in a taxi outside for 2 hours, watching the entrance. Pearl never appeared. At midnight, I went home, feeling foolish. What was I doing? Stalking bars like a jealous teenager? I confronted her the next day at coffee. Candy said she hasn't seen you in over a month, I said, trying to keep my tone casual. Pearl's face went blank for a moment. Then, oh, she said that. I don't mean at the bar. I saw her at SM Mall. She was shopping. We had coffee. You said you went to the mall with her. That she needed to borrow money. Yes. That's right. At the mall. Why are you asking so many questions, Curtis? You don't trust me? I'm not saying that. You think because I worked at bar I'm lying to you? You think I'm still working there? No. Because I'm not. I quit. For you. To make you happy. And now you're accusing me? She had tears in her eyes. Real tears. I felt like an asshole. I'm sorry, I said. I'm not accusing you. I miss you. You've been busy lately, and I guess I'm feeling insecure. She softened. Curtis, I'm sorry too. I know I've been distracted. My family has been very demanding. My mother needs new medicine. Very expensive. Joey needs new school supplies. Eman needs. She stopped. It's a lot. But I'm not going anywhere. Okay? I'm here. With you. I believed her. Or I wanted to believe her. I gave her an additional 10,000 that afternoon for her mother's medicine. But I also started paying attention. Really paying attention. I noticed that on Friday and Saturday nights, she was almost never available. Girls' night, she'd say. Or family video call. Or too tired. Need to rest. I noticed her phone was always face down when we were together. She'd check it constantly, but angle it away from me. I noticed she had a new phone, a second phone, she said, for her family. So I don't use up my main phone battery, she explained. But who needs 2 phones? I noticed charges on my credit card from Club Infinity. Small charges, SUPs 500, SUPs 800 that I hadn't made. When I asked her about it, she said, "Oh, sometimes I use your card for emergencies. I tell you before, remember? You said is okay." I didn't remember saying that. I noticed her makeup levels. When she said she was home alone, she'd sometimes answer my video calls with full face makeup. club-level makeup. I noticed her friends, the girls she mentioned, Candy, Sweetie, Joy, were all bar girls. She claimed they'd become friends outside of work, but every single friend was from the nightlife scene. I started feeling crazy, paranoid, angry at myself for doubting her, angry at her for giving me reasons to doubt. One Thursday afternoon, I took a taxi to her apartment in Pasay. She'd given me the address but never invited me inside, always met me at the lobby or outside. She'd said it was because the room was too small, too embarrassing. I asked the security guard if Pearl was home. Perla? He checked his logbook. She left this morning around 10. Hasn't come back yet. Does she have many visitors? He looked uncomfortable. Sometimes, sir. Different visitors. Foreign visitors? Sir, I can't really. I handed him 500. Foreign visitors? He pocketed the money. Sometimes. Yes. Different men. But sir, you know what she does for work, right? So. My stomach dropped. She doesn't work anymore. She quit. The guard looked confused. Quit when? Last week I saw her come home at 4 a.m. in her bar clothes. Same as always. I left before he could say anything else. That night, I went back to Club Infinity. Waited outside in a taxi. Around 8 p.m., I saw her walk in. Red dress. High heels. Hair and makeup perfect. She was still working. The 45,000 I'd given her to quit, plus the additional 14,000 for medicine, the 5,000 for Joey's tuition, the 8,000 for emergency bills. It had all been a lie. She'd taken my money and kept working. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not anger. Exactly. Clarity. I waited. At 10:30 p.m., I walked into Club Infinity. The bartender saw me and waved. I went straight to my booth, the one I'd sat in dozens of times, the one where Pearl and I had first talked. She was at the bar with two men, Australian accents. One of them had his arm around her waist. She was laughing, leaning into him, playing with her hair. The version of Pearl I'd thought was dead, replaced by the real woman I'd been dating. But here she was, alive and performing. I caught the bartender's attention. Ladies drink for Pearl? He looked uncomfortable. Sir, she's with other customers right now. I know. Just send it over. Tell her it's from me. 2 minutes later, Pearl appeared at my booth. Her face was white. Curtis, what are you doing here? Sitting in my usual spot. Buying you a drink. That's what I do, right? I can explain. I'd love to hear it. I gestured to the seat across from me. Please. She sat, hands clasped tight in her lap. The two Australian men watched from the bar, confused. You told me you quit, I said. My voice was calm. Too calm. I did quit. I came back. Just temporary, Curtis, I promise. When did you come back? Last week. My mother needed surgery, very expensive, and I already spent the money you gave me. Your mother needed surgery. Okay. How much? 50,000 pesos, for her diabetes. They have to. You're lying. I said it quietly. You never quit. The security guard at your apartment sees you come home in bar clothes at 4 a.m. You've been working this whole time. The color drained completely from her face. Curtis, I gave you 45,000 to quit, plus another 23,000 over the past 2 months for various emergencies. You took all of it and kept working. Why? She was crying now. Real tears. Finally. Because it's not enough. 15,000 a month is not enough. Do you know how much I need to send home? How much my family needs? So you lied to me. For 2 months, you lied to my face. I didn't want to. But if I told you the truth that I needed more money, you'd think I'm using you. But I'm not using you, Curtis. I care about you, really. While sleeping with how many other men? She looked away. How many, Pearl? How many men have you barfined in the past 2 months? I don't know. Maybe 10, 15. The number hit me like a physical blow. 10 or 15 men. While telling me she loved me. While kissing me. While making me feel special. Did you ever really quit? I asked. Long silence. No, she whispered. I was going to. I wanted to. But I couldn't. I need the money too much. So everything was a lie. Not everything. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. My feelings for you are real. You're different from the other customers. You actually care about me. You listen. You make me feel like a person, not just what? A prostitute. Because that's what this is, right? I've been paying you for sex, just like everyone else. The only difference is, I was stupid enough to think it meant something. It does mean something. Her voice cracked. Curtis, please, don't be like this. I made mistakes, okay? But I can change. I can really quit this time if you help me. How much? I asked. How much money would it take for you to really quit? To save up enough to start business or study or so, 300,000 total. And then what? You'd find another emergency, another expense, another reason why you need more. No, I promise. Your promises mean nothing. I stood up. I'm done. Curtis, wait. She grabbed my arm. Please. Don't leave like this. We can fix this. I looked down at her hand on my arm, remembered the first night, when that touch had felt electric. Now it just felt transactional. Let go of me, Pearl, please. Let go. She released me, crying openly now. Several customers were watching. Mama Linda appeared from the back office, assessing the situation. I walked to the bar and caught the bartender's attention. I need my tab from the past 2 months. Itemized. He printed it out. I scanned the list. Ladies' drinks for Pearl, 47,000, 500 personal bar tab, 12,000, 300 bottle service. One night, I tried to impress her friends. To 15,000. Emergency cash advances. Charged to my card. 200 total at Club Infinity. 83,000. Added to the money I'd transferred directly. Initial 3 months. What 45,000. Mother's medicine. 10,000. Joey's tuition. 5,000 emergency bills. 8,000 mother's surgery. 12,000. Various small requests. 16,000 grand total. 179,000 inches 10 weeks. I felt sick. Mama Linda approached me. Curtis, I'm sorry. I tried to warn you. I know I should have listened. You want me to bar her from the club? If she's harassing you, no, she's just doing her job. I was the idiot who forgot what that job was. I walked out of Club Infinity for the last time. Pearl called after me, but I didn't turn around. My phone rang constantly that night. 47 missed calls from Pearl. 23 text messages. Curtis, please talk to me. I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. You're different, I promise I can change. Please give me another chance. I love you. That last one made me laugh. Love. What a joke. The next morning, she showed up at my apartment building. The security called up. Sir, there's a woman here. Says her name is Pearl. Should I send her up? No. Says it's an emergency. It's always an emergency. Tell her to leave. She waited in the lobby for 4 hours. Finally, security escorted her out. She tried for 3 more days. Calls, texts, showing up at places she knew I frequented. Finally, I blocked her number and changed my routine. 1 week after I left the bar, I got a message from an unknown number. Curtis, this is Candy, Pearl's friend from the bar. I just want you to know Pearl didn't spend all your money on herself. She really does send money to her family. I've seen the transfers. She also uses it for living expenses, for food, for emergencies. The bar doesn't pay us that much. We need customers like you to survive. I'm not saying what she did was right, but I want you to know she's not a bad person. She's just trying to survive. I hope you can understand that someday. I deleted the message. I left the Philippines 3 weeks after that final night at Club Infinity. Flew back to Phoenix. Got a small apartment. Started looking for contract work in IT. Pearl tried contacting me through social media for about 2 months. Then the messages stopped. Last I checked, and yes, I checked. Because I'm human and weak, she's still working at Club Infinity. Her Facebook profile shows her at the bar with new customers, smiling that same smile she'd given me. She looks happy. Maybe she is. Maybe this is the life she chose. Or maybe it's the life that chose her. And she's making the best of it. I don't know anymore. What I do know is this. I dodged a bullet. Yes. I lost 179,000 inches 10 weeks. For an American with retirement savings, that's about $3,700. It stings, but it's not devastating. I've heard stories of guys who lost hundreds of thousands, life savings, pension funds, houses, guys who married bar girls thinking they'd been saved, only to discover their wives were still working. Guys who brought them to the States and watched them run off with another man after getting their green card. I got off easy. And honestly, I'm grateful for that. Sitting here now, 7 months later, I can admit some things I couldn't admit when I was in it. I wasn't special. Every customer who walks into that bar thinks he's special, thinks he's different from the other guys, thinks his connection with her is real. The bar girl economy runs on that delusion. We want so badly to believe we're the exception that we ignore every sign telling us we're not. She wasn't evil. Pearl was a 23-year-old woman from a poor province trying to support her family the only way she knew how. Did she lie to me? Absolutely. Did she manipulate me? Yes. But from her perspective, she was working. I was a customer who was willing to pay more if she made me feel special. That's not evil, that's capitalism. I was running from my real problems. I didn't go to the Philippines for adventure or opportunity. I went because my life had fallen apart and I didn't want to face it. Pearl was a distraction, a way to feel valuable when I felt worthless, a way to play hero when I'd been the villain in my marriage. I wasn't trying to save her, I was trying to save myself. The money doesn't matter. I spent $179,000. I could have spent that on therapy, on rebuilding relationships with my kids, on addressing my actual problems. Instead, I spent it on fantasy. The money is gone. It's the time I regret 10 weeks I could have spent healing, wasted on denial. Here's what I learned, and what I'm telling you now if you're considering walking into a bar in Angeles City or Makati or Cebu. Red flag has shown. She tells you she's different from the other girls. They all say this. The girl who says she doesn't usually bar fine, who says she's only working temporarily, who says most customers are rude but you're kind, she's doing her job. Her job is to make you feel special enough to spend money. Red flag #2. Constant family emergencies. In 10 weeks, Pearl had emergencies for her mother, 3 brothers, house repairs, medical bills, school fees, and more. The emergencies will never stop. There will always be a reason she needs money right now. Red flag #3. She won't introduce you to her family. If you're really her boyfriend and really helping her family, why haven't you met them? Video calls can be staged. Photos can be borrowed. Real families can be met in person. Red flag #4. Friday and Saturday nights are never available. Those are the most profitable nights at bars. If she's really quit but can't see you on weekend nights, she hasn't quit. Red flag #5. All her friends are from the industry. Bar girls socialize with other bar girls. If every friend she mentions works in nightlife, that's her world. That's where she belongs. Red flag #6. She has multiple phones. One for customers, one for family, one for whatever. Multiple phones mean multiple lives she's juggling. Red flag #7. Heavy makeup for casual outings. Bar-level makeup takes an hour to apply. Women don't do that for grocery shopping. They do it for work. Look, I'm not telling you to avoid the Philippines. It's a beautiful country with amazing people. I'm not even telling you to avoid the bars if you want to go. Understand what it is. A business transaction. Buy the lady a drink, enjoy the conversation, bar fine her if you want, pay her. Leave. Everyone knows the score. Nobody gets hurt. What I'm telling you is, don't fall for the fantasy. Don't convince yourself you're saving her. Don't believe you're special. Don't think your connection is different. Because the moment you start believing the fantasy, you become the mark. And trust me, being the mark feels a lot worse than the money you'll lose. Pearl sent me one final message about a month ago, from yet another new number. Curtis, I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry for everything. I know you probably hate me. But I want you to know the time we spent together was real to me. Maybe not in the way you wanted, but it was real. You were kind to me when most men aren't. Thank you for that. I hope you find happiness." I didn't reply. There's nothing left to say. But yeah, I am doing well. I reconnected with my kids slowly, awkwardly, but we're talking. I got a consulting contract that pays decently. I'm seeing a therapist to work through the divorce and my tendency to run from problems. I'm 59 years old, and I'm finally starting to grow up. The Philippines taught me something valuable. You can't fix your problems by fleeing to another country and pretending to be someone else. You can't heal your pain by trying to heal someone else's. And you definitely can't buy genuine connection. Pearl is still in Manila, still working at Club Infinity, still sending money to her family in Samar. I hope her mother's diabetes is under control. I hope her brothers finish school. I hope she finds a way out someday, if that's what she wants. And I hope the next guy who walks into that bar and thinks he's special reads this story first. Because trust me, you're not special. None of us are. But at least now you'll know it's going in.